So we're going to cover how to do a top-down analysis when you're analyzing the market, basically. So the one thing, a top-down analysis simply means that you are looking from higher time frames, working your way down to smaller time frames and trying to see exactly how the market is reacting. And before you can actually get your entry, you know the direction that the market is taking, right? Now, when you are doing a top-down analysis, the first thing, obviously, as we covered yesterday, is to understand what type of a trader you are. So am I doing a top-down analysis so that I can get into a short-term trade or a long-term trade, right? And I'm telling you for sure, I know there's people who will find a trade only when they go into the market. They don't know what really they are searching for until they get there. Okay, until they get there. So they're not really sure what they're looking for until they get into the market, right? Have an idea. Have an idea. If being able to trade and your success is 90% psychology, then I would advocate, prepare yourself as an individual, know what you are aiming for as an individual before you can actually get into the market to try and figure out what's happening, right? So let's say if you are scalping, right? So I'll just break this down into the 4 categories, right? So let's say, for example, you're a scalper. You obviously want to like look at maybe the 1 hour time frame first. Figure out what's happening on the 1 hour. I'm using AUD USD because this has been a trade that has really blessed me all day today. It's been amazing. So if you're doing if you're scalping the market, right? Still, don't start with like 15 minutes. No, start with the 1 hour. See what's happening on the 1 hour. Okay. In some cases, you will see people go down to 30 minutes. Personally, I don't usually go to 30 minutes. When I'm using pivots, I'll check the 30 minutes, but mostly I'll just skip down to 15 minutes, right? It always seems to me like the 15 and the 30 kind of have like an almost like same kind of a duplicate in the market, right? But that's just my own personal opinion, right? So I go to 15 minutes, right? And now I can figure out, okay, I already know, I already saw what's happening on the bigger picture. What's now happening in the smaller picture, right? And I promise you, like if you do this, you'll have much better entries, and you're also going to avoid getting into the market too early before the move starts to happen. Okay, because that's the other thing. You might actually be losing money, not because you never saw the move, but because you got in before the move started. And then now you're in drawdown and now you're losing money just because you got in too early. Okay, and you want to avoid that. So you see what's happening when it comes to currency pairs, right? When it comes to currency pairs, I do not advocate going down to 5 minutes. I know you're scalping, but I really don't advocate going to 5 minutes. And the reason why with currency pairs, they move so slow, it's a personal preference at the end of the day. But I feel like if I'm looking at something like gold, I'm gonna go to 5 minutes if I'm scalping, right? If I'm looking at something like silver, I'll go to 5 minutes if I'm scalping. Indices as well, I'll go to 5 minutes if I'm scalping. But when it comes to currency pairs, I think like 15 minutes works. It does work, like just getting your entries on the 15 minutes. You won't go wrong, right? If you're doing your intraday, like be comfortable. Go to the 4 hours, right? Go to the 4 hours. See what actually is happening in the market, right? Just see the general direction. So look at this. On the 1 hour, we are not really able to see that there's something else happening down here, right? But on the 4 hours, when we went to a higher time frame, now we're able to see, wait a minute, there's actually this right here. There's a move happening right here, okay? We had not seen this before, right? On the 1 hour, but we're able to see this move on the 4 hours. That just tells you was to go to a higher time frame, okay, if I go to the daily, now I'll see something completely different. So wait a minute, it's not just an uptrend. The market has actually been moving in a downtrend. It is beautiful. So now, and the reason I'm excited about this trade is because if you're able to catch this right here, and we just, this was just a pullback, then you know where this market is going, right? And that's what you're looking out for. You want to have an idea. You just don't want to be floating in the market, not knowing exactly what's happening, right? So we're going to use AUD USD as our example for the night, right? Just to see what really has been happening with this currency pair, what we can learn from it, doing a top-down analysis basically from this pair itself, and then we'll call it the night from there. Now, the first thing, looking at this AUD USD from the monthly, the one thing I'm going to do first, right? I'm going to go to the currency strength meter. This is not something I'll do all the time, but at least you're able to see it, right? Currency strength meter, just to help me understand, like, okay, currently what's going on with the market, right? So USD is strong, AUD is very weak, but I have been looking at this trade all day, so I do know that it's been dropping anyways, right? But the one thing we are seeing on the monthly time frame, okay, when it comes to AUD USD on the monthly, who knows what this is right here? You can go ahead and type in the chat before I drop it down for you. I already gave it away. Me just coming here, I already gave it away, right? But this is a head and shoulders pattern. Look at that. This market has just been doing some awesome stuff, right? So even though this did not pull all the way back here, right? We're able to see the head and shoulders pattern forming, okay? So you could even look at this. Excuse. Okay. And you can also see it on the bigger picture as well, right? This market clearly making a head and shoulders pattern there. It just makes me curious, right? Was this market on an uptrend, or where was it coming from? So unfortunately, I'm not able to get the data on this side. My thing is not loading up, right? But that's as far as my chart goes. Should show me more information, but that's as far as it goes, right? But we are seeing something very interesting here. Market has been on a decline, right, since 2012. So on the monthly time frame, market has been pushing down. We are seeing pushed up here, came down here, rejected at this level, and you can see why it rejected. Let's just line it up for ourselves. Just going to mark up some key areas here that we are going to pay attention to. This should help us identifying where the market is and everything like that. So there we go. I'm just marking up the key areas. Mostly I want to concentrate on this part, but now we know, okay? So when we look at this market, it wicked all the way down here to this support level and then pushed back up. The one thing that now, looking on the monthly time frame, usually I'm not going to go into the monthly because I am an intraday trader, right? I'll start on the 4 hours because I'm an intraday trader. I'll start on the 4 hours. I'm just going all the way back so that you can all see how exactly to do it, right? So on the monthly, the market came here. It never broke this high, right? It never broke this high. As you can see, the market stayed below, right? This level here was not higher than this. So we still have a lower high in this area at the moment, okay? And the moment the market got here, we can see the market shoot back down. Oh, because I don't have my long. We are able to see, the market shoot back down here, right? So it rejected this level and now it's pushing back down. The other thing, just me looking at this, because these are the things that you need now to start picking up on, right? Market broke the structure here. It retested that structure. Came up here, you can see the fast touch, market pushed back down. You can see the retest there. Then the market dropped all the way down here and you can see a push up. And now we have a red candle, right? So what are the chances that we are going to have another touch, right, to this level down here at 0.70080, right? What are the chances we are going to see another touch down here? Either the market is going to spring back up or either break here and push back down, right? So keep in mind that black is going to be monthly time frame. Okay, I'm actually still in this trade for sale, but let's look at what's happening on the daily time frame. Let's look at what's happening on the daily time frame. So what do we already know, right? What do we already know? This market is on a downtrend. Okay, we already know that this market is on a downtrend, and we know that this level here is significant because that's where the market, after it broke here and then retested, right? So we can already see that there's a pattern there. Okay, so there's a couple of things that we are watching out for. Okay, so already you're starting to form an opinion. You're starting to form an opinion. There is a chance that this market is likely either to drop down to this level, push up, okay, or you might see this market drop down to this level and push up, right? Because I want us to be able to, like, at this point, I'm already forming an opinion of what I personally kind of want to see. Or we may have this market do all this, right? Maybe reject here and all that, or come down here, give us the retest, and then continue to push down. All these are possibilities. When you're trading, you're not, we are speculators. I do not know 100% where the market is gonna go. All I'm doing is to make sure that I prepare myself for any move. I'm not gonna act surprised when I see a move happening. I already know, like, there's a possible reaction area. And you can see why I'm putting these areas here, because this is a reaction zone. Market keeps bouncing here. We could even see some kind of, right, in this zone right here, you could see some kind of consolidation. That is possible, right? Has happened again here. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happened as well. But on the daily, right, our bias is still continuing. What else are we seeing here? This is on the daily time frame. Okay, so you have to, like, be able to catch up on these small things as you're moving along. Look at this right here. There is a structure that has been, I did not want that. There's a structure that has been created here by the market. So that's where the bodies of the candle end. And I'm also going to highlight where the wicks of the candles also end, okay? This is going to be significant for this one reason, right? We're always talking about break of structure, okay? We're always talking about break of structure. There is a support level. This is a support level right here. This is a support level right here. Okay. And what are we seeing happening right now? The market is breaking this structure on the daily time frame. There's a break of structure that is happening as we are actually seeing right now. Okay, there's a break of structure that's happening. So now I am already starting to put things into perspective. So if this continues to break, I'd like to see a retest and then the market to drop. There's also another possible scenario on the daily time frame. So in the next 20 minutes, we're going to see how this candle closes. This candle could also decide to pull back up and reject this area, giving us a wick in the next 20 minutes before midnight. Okay, if it pushes back up and reacts at this level, right, it gives us a wick, then it doesn't look like it's going to do that, but in case it does, so we'll have that, then we'll have that as a possible possible kind of a trade. But so far, do you see what I'm doing? I'm looking at possible scenarios that are likely to happen, right? I have a bias for the sell, so keep observing that. Okay, but that's on the daily time frame. So now I'm going to go down to the 4 hours. I already know what I'm looking for. So look at this. This already makes so much sense, right? Just looking at it, you already know what you're looking for. There's a support level. You can see where this market came, wicked right here, and then pushed back up. Now this candle has broken. So what are the chances that we are going to see this market continue to drop? Okay, if the market is going to continue to drop, then now my thinking is going to be, where is the market likely to drop down to? So there's two things you can do now, right? You can either use support and resistance levels to mark up your chart, or I'm going to show you another thing you can do. So let's say, for example, you're using support and resistance, okay? Let's look at both options. So support and resistance, there's an area there. There's another possible area there. Okay, this is just how you can mark up the zones for yourself, right? I always go with the line chart, makes things easy for me. So there's a chance this market is likely to push down right here, okay, or right here, or right here. Okay, that's a possibility. The other thing that you can do to mark up your chart, I've been learning this from Stevenson Lindor, so I would suggest you guys also go and look him up. He's definitely got some good source, right? Now, you want to identify the area, right, where the market pushed down first before it went up, right? Now, this is also going to have something to do with like some smart money concepts and all that, but keeping it simple, right? Keeping it very simple. This area right here is where we see before the impulse, before the market made that huge impulse. What's the impulse? This is the impulse right here. That's the impulse move, right? Before the market made that impulse move, it first pushed down. But now we can see there is also an engulfing candle right here. So thinking about it this way, when the banks are trading, what do? Push market down so that they can push it up. And if they're trying to buy, if they're trying to sell, what do? They will push it up and then push, for them to push it down. So right here is what we are going to keep an eye on. Let me just, this candle, this is the candle we are interested in right here, okay? So I'm just going to mark it up for us. So the high of that candle and then the low of that candle. So if you want, you could use the bodies as well. It's up to you, right? So like, for example, if you decide to use the bodies, and I have that. No, I've been looking at this strategy and I'm like, wow, it just makes it so easy. So there you go. So just looking at this market, this is a possible zone for the market to drop down to. So there's a chance we're going to see market push here, give us some kind of a reaction, or we have that market push here, give us some kind of a reaction. Okay, then you also have another opportunity down here. Okay, so we see our bullish engulfing right here. I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, I'll do the same thing. I'll mark up the high. I'll mark also the lowest point. And just in case, you know, for anyone who decides to use the body, I'm marking up both the wicks and the body of the candle, just for anyone who's. So now I have some possible areas now. Okay, so there's this first zone, this second zone, you have this, and you also have this right here. And you can just realize when we were marking up our support and resistance areas, they are almost kind of similar, right? Almost kind of similar. It's not all that different, right? So possible areas for the market to drop down to, right there. This is on the 4 hours. So now, even as I move on, okay, just trying to eliminate this. We already kind of know what we are looking for at this point, right? We know what we are looking for at this point. So when I go down to the 1 hour, okay, a beautiful break of this structure right here. Beautiful break. I love it. I love it. It's a beautiful break right here, right? You just need to see a retest, then you want to see the market push down from there. So this is a 1 hour candle. It's going to close in the next, it's 47. So in the next 13 minutes, hopefully we see some kind of a pullback, then market push down, okay? Just in case, right? So I like that zone. Market has been there before. You know, break this high. Okay, looking good. So basically, you already know, like, even if I go down to 15 minutes from this point on, I already know what I'm searching for. So on the 15 minutes, so on the 15 minutes here, we can see we had our break and our retest candle, okay? But because we are approaching midnight, I can still figure that we'll see maybe another retest to the same zone, okay? So I wouldn't be surprised to see that happening. But this is looking like a beautiful sell position. What I want to see, the market come back here, get rejected, and then push down. In the eventuality, or in case something like this happens, market comes here, right? And then plays us. You know, the market can just decide to play us like that. Are you going to sell? Of course not. You're going to be looking at a buy at that particular moment. But right now, everything is lined up. You know, there's a high chance for us to see that sell. And you know, you already have your possible target areas down there that you're waiting for. Okay, so all you have to do is to play your cards right, be patient, and then you have a nice trade. Anyone with any questions so far? Anyone with any questions so far? Right? If you have a question, you can go ahead and ask. I'm not seeing any questions. Now, this trade, let me just show this trade to you. I called this trade for the group earlier, for anyone who took like the signal. I know it went back like to a stop loss, but then again, it massively dropped down for us. So it was right here. I wasn't even expecting like it would drop this much. I only had like a couple TPs. But let us see. Okay, so my network is starting to misbehave right now. Okay, so this was the drop right here. It was a quick trade on the 15 minutes. Went back to our stop loss and then continued to push down. Okay, so the one mistake I made, I put my stop loss too close to my entry, but it's been paying off, and I based it off this area right here. Okay, so my entry was based off this. Was market rejected, created a lower high, and then bam, we saw that happening. So just in case anyone took it and then it hit stop loss, that is what happened. Just going to mark this up as a potential trade. Okay. So TP1 is right there. And TP2 is right there. Right. This will be like a sell limit. And there's a chance this trade, it's not even pushing back down. But because we already saw this on the 1 hour, we already have a break of structure on the 1 hour. Even if this trade is going to leave us, because you can see it's just going down, right? Even if this trade is going to leave us, keep an eye because it will come back. This is on the 15 minutes. On the 1 hour, it will still give us a pullback, right? I can promise you that, like I've seen it happen way too many times. On the 1 hour, it's still going to give us a pullback. Even though right now it looks like it's leaving us, right? So we just have to make sure like we get the numbers for it. AUD USD. The only challenge is that we are using or under, and the numbers are not so close to KOT, which is the broker that most of us are using. So the numbers might be slightly off. I'll probably need to switch it up to like, we just switch it up to, let me switch it up to my regular broker that I use when analyzing. Oh, the other thing that I probably did not highlight for us, and you'll probably see it, you'll probably see this on the 4-hour time frame on AUD USD, is that it was pushing up, right? We have this move right here, but this has broken the structure, not just this support level, but also on this trend line here, right? So we see the break of structure in the two areas, this right here and also this right here. So I'm just going to mark it up real quick, and then so that we get like some better accurate numbers. I don't want to use one that is not close to KOT. That would just mess us up. we have that. Probably end up using these same areas down here. Okay. That right there. Right, so I'm just trying to like have almost the same kind of analysis we had before. Okay, we have that and we have that, so it should be good. Okay, so this right here, I like to drop down to the 1 hour. If we can get our short position right here. Okay. And we have a good risk reward ratio, so so sell limits, AUD USD, our entry is going to be 0.71848. Then our stop loss is right here. Okay. 71930. 0.71930. Then, so for your take profits, honestly, like you could go with however far you want to go, you know. Have that as TP1. Then for TP2, 0.71490. Then for TP3, 400, 0.713. I'll copy it for us. Always, right? If you decide to take like, this is a trade idea. Manage. Sometimes I can't type. I'm still sure I typed it wrong. All right. Use good risk management. That looks wrong to me. I don't know. Is there an E? I don't think so. It looks so wrong. I do not over leverage. Okay. Look at that trade. It's not even looking back right now. It's just pushing, right? It is just pushing. So there's a chance it might go down all the way. So if you are like looking at that trade, so let's see how it does. But this is a potential sell limit in case the trade comes back up here, just in case, right? If it comes all the way down to 71600 without retracing, then we'll probably not see that pullback, because there was a small pullback on the 15 minutes. There's a small pullback on the 15 minutes. Okay. Anyone with any question? Anyone with any question? Okay. So it looks like it's just going. If it leaves us, well and good, right? If it doesn't come back for us, well and good. But in case it does, we do have a pending order there. Or you could also wait and execute the trade for yourself. So just based on how this market, I'm so curious, like, to see if we have any news that are happening at the moment. That's oh, wait a minute, NFP here. NFP. So we have Italian bank holiday. We have ISM services. We have a red folder on the US dollar, right? We have a red folder on the US dollar. Nothing on the Aussie. That's gonna be 10 a.m. Now, I personally, I'm not a fundamental trader. I don't really trade off the news, okay? But I like to see what's happening in the news so that I keep myself ready for anything, okay? This just helps me to like be aware of exactly what's going on. Mostly, I am a technical trader. I look at the chart, market structure and all that, and that's how I'll be analyzing the trades for myself, okay? Well, at least now you know how to do a top-down analysis. Anyone with a question? Let me see, AUDJPY. It's doing the same thing pretty much. AUDJPY is behaving the same way. All right. If there's no questions, I will call it a night, but at least now we have an idea of how to do top-down analysis, right? So that being said, I'm going to end the recording there. God bless each and every one of us. Probably look at a couple more markups after the recording, but I have to end the recording for that YouTube. All right, guys, God bless. Have a wonderful night for sure.